Okay, we're gonna pick up at number 22. Okay, it's the sine, cosine, tangent functions. We will not have the secant one. All right, so for reflection, you'll have a reflection if there's a negative, so we're gonna say yes there. Okay, there's a reflection. The amplitude, we always put the amplitude as positive as 1. The period, what we do is we take 360 and divide by the number in front of x, which is 4. So let me move that down here so you're not confused. 360 divided by 4, which would be 90. I have no phase shift. Phase shift is dictated by parentheses. My vertical shift is -3. Okay? All right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to use these values. Okay? As I go. I'm going to use 0, 90, 180, 270, 360. Now for sine, what I do for sine is I go ahead and type those in. Okay? So sine of 0 is 0, sine of 90 is 1, 0, -1, and 0, okay? Now, the number right here, what that does is it affects the values. So I'm going to multiply all those by -1. So it's 0, -1, 0, 1 now, and 0, okay? This 4 affects all the angles, so I'm going to divide all those by 4, okay? So that's 0, 22.5, all right? I'm sorry, not 22.5, that's 45. No, that's right, it's 22.5. All right, that's going to be 45, that's going to be 67.5, and that's going to be 90. This -3 affects the value, so then I'm going to subtract 3 from all those. So that's -3, -4, -3, -2, -3. Okay? So as I graph this, okay, all right, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you got 8 different things. If you want to go every other one and say this is 90, okay, 180, all right, 270, and 360. That helps you with the division part of it. That's fine. Okay, at 0, so at 0, I'm going to be down at -3. So right here, all right. At 22.5, I'm going to be at -4. So if this is 90, that's 45.5 would be down here. Okay. Then at 45, which would be exactly this one, I'm going to be at -3. At 67.5, I'm going to be at -2, which I'd be halfway here, which would be -2 would be there. And at 90, I'm back down at -3. So your graph looks like this. Okay. Once again, I would do these. These are increments of 45, so you're not confused. Okay, so it'll be like 135 right there. Okay, 225. All right. 315. Okay, so that is the sine function. Okay, moving on to cosine. All right, I think we know by now that pi is 180 degrees. Okay, do I have a reflection here? No. My amplitude is 1. The period is 360 divided by the number in front of x, which happens to be 1, which would be 360. My phase shift, very important. If it's positive 180, I do opposite for inside the parentheses, and I have no vertical shift. Okay. All right, for cosine, okay, 0, 90, 180, 270, and 360. For cosine, the values are these. Okay, you can use your calculator if necessary. Okay, since my amplitude is 1, nothing is going to affect the values. Since there's a number in front of 1, divided by 1 won't do anything, but this will. I'm going to subtract 180 to all those. So that's -180, okay, that's -90, that's 0, that's 90, that's 180, okay? So this is 0 degrees. Once again, I'm going to move in increments of 45. Okay, so that's like 45. That is 90. That's 135. That's 180. That's 270. All right, and 360. Moving the other way, that's going to be -45, -90, -180. Okay, -270, -360. All right. So at -180, I'm going to be at 1. Okay, at -90, I'm going to be at 0. At 0, I'm going to be at -1. At 90, I'm going to be at 0. And 180, I'm back up at 1. My graph looks like this. Okay, it'll be a continuous way. All right, like I said, we're not going to do the secant function, so you can skip this one. Your number 24 is actually this right here. Okay, all right. So this is tangent pi over 2. If you multiply by 180 over pi, that turns into x minus 90 degrees for what's inside there. Reflection, no. Amp 1, because there's no number in front there, period. Now for tangent is 180 divided by the number in front of x, which happens to be 1, which is 180. Okay, my phase shift, because that's negative 90, would be positive 90, and my vertical shift would be none. Okay? Alright, so for tangent, we're going to move in a little bit different increment. Okay? We're going to move in increments of 45, so 0 and 45, 90, 135, 180. Okay? Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in the tan of 0. Okay, if you need to, tan of 0 is 0. Okay? Tan of 45. Okay? Tan of 45 is 1. Tan of 90 is error, which means undefined. So it's going to be 1, it's going to be undefined. Okay? Tan of 135. Whoops. Tan of 135 is negative 1. Tan of 180, 0. Okay? Alright? So as I plot this out, okay, I'm going to still do those increments. So 0, 90, alright, 180. Okay? Obviously they're 270 and 360. So every line is 45, so at 0, I'm at 0. Let me use a different color. 0, I'm at 0. At 45, I'm at 1. Whoops, I have not done my shifts yet, have I? Okay, so I have to add 90 to all those. Forgot to do that. So that's going to be 90, 135, 180, 2 1/4, and 270. Forgot to add those. That's the only change on that. So at 90, I'm going to be at 0. So let me fix that. At 90, I'm at 0. Okay. At 135, I'm at 1. So it's about right there. At 180, I'm undefined. So I'm going to give it one of these right here at 180. Okay. At 225, I'm going to be at negative 1, which will be right here. Okay. At 270, I'm going to be at 0. Now, with tangent, it's a 3 dot. So the idea is this same level, this next grid over, I'd be right about there. Okay. This one, I need a dot on this level, so I'm going to go one grid over and put here. And this is what the tangent function looks like. Make sure you have a curve. Okay, it's not a straight line. All right, it basically looks like the cubic function a lot. Okay, and that would be my answer for tangent. Okay, I think that is it. Okay, so that's the review for advanced math. I'm going to try to compile these into one video, so you don't have to go through separate YouTube videos.